I wanted to show you something. This came with my Africa Twin. It was like a sport windscreen, I guess. And my Transout came with a different windshield. This is a Pugue, something like that. The other one was shorter. It didn't have these on it. And to me, for this motorcycle, I want to be able to ride down the road, and this one ended up being perfect. I bought this one, and then I bought this thing for 20 bucks off of Amazon that allows you to adjust it, and it just gets the wind just off of me. My dad has one, but it's taller, and I didn't want that much wind resistance. I wanted it to just get off of my head. But the stock windscreen put the wind right in my face. So I didn't really like that. It worked, but this got the wind off of me, and it's been ideal for what I wanted to do. So I got the wild hair on my Hawk 250 to add a windscreen. This is my Honda Transout stock windscreen. I wasn't doing anything with it anyway. So I got to looking at it, and it was like, how could I put this on this machine? And this is how I did it. So I'm not sure if it's going to work or how well it'll work. Obviously, I've not painted my bracket yet, but you can see what I did. I started out, and I just spitballed it. Where'd I put it? Started out with this bracket, and basically I scored it here so I could do an easy bend, and I'll weld that up on the other brackets. But I wanted to get it close with that, and I started on this side, and I put it on there, and then I just kind of placed it in, and it was like, well, that hole is too far. I overwent whatever it was. So I just added the hole that way. It was 1.5 inches, I think, is what I came up with. And that's what I ended up doing. And then I just cut off that last portion. So basically, I just added a hole here, cut off this portion. And then, you know, I twisted this, and it was really close the first time I did it. So it's like, well, how can I measure this and make it the same for the other side? So what I did is I cut a notch here and a notch here. I put the bottom part in my vise, took a big monkey wrench, and just tweaked it over. And I was able to do it for both. But that's pretty good. This took me maybe an hour to do. And that gave me a windscreen for my little 250. Now, I'm not sure. I may take it off. But this is literally scrap metal that I bought from a scrap place for next to nothing. But check it out. It protects all of this. It looks like pretty good. Shoot, I'm pretty tickled with it. I'm probably going to make new ones at some point. And I might trim this a little bit. This was way too big. I wanted it to be pretty stocky, but that's really bigger than what it needs to be. So I may trim this back. I'll probably keep these the width they are because it's on there. It's good. But I like the idea of the Honda CRF 300 rallies. My dad has a Honda CRF 300S, not the rally. I don't think his came with a windscreen, but the rally does. I don't think just the regular CRF comes with that. But I want something that, you know, this is really going to be more of a road-focused bike. I can do dirt with it and stuff if I want to, but it's really more of a road-focused bike. So, that being said, this is what I ended up with. I might tweak these brackets a little bit more, but man, just from from what I had, I'm pretty happy with that. That worked out really well for just a quick and dirty, real fast bracket in the middle of the night with a plasma table and SolidWorks. I've got SolidWorks from work, which is really nice having that. It's also nice having hardware, by the way. I've got all these bins full of nuts and bolts, and that's a lot of money, but man, when it's like 12 o'clock at night, I'm out here working on this stuff and I need nuts and bolts, and I had everything I needed. So, but anyway, I've got SolidWorks. We just hired another guy. I'm going to have to give up my second license to him. So I bought a Libre CAD a few years ago. I'm on version 26. I've got the professional. It was like $2,000. And what's cool about them is they actually let you pay overtime, which is really nice. And it's a perpetual license. So you buy it once, you got it. And it's close to SolidWorks. So my intention, what's kind of nice is for about $500, they'll let me upgrade to the latest version, which is, 3 or 4 years above it. So for $400 or $500, whatever it is, I can go to version 28, which allows me to open SolidWorks 2025, which is what I've got at the office. So that's pretty cool. But I'm going to take this thing for a spin. I'm just curious to see what this does. So that's pretty cool. You can buy a windscreen for the Hawk 250, I believe, but I had this one. It was sitting. I'm never going to use it on anything else. So I was like, shoot, I'll stick it on here, and if it just cuts the wind a little bit, you can't beat it. That'll work great. So just to get the basic shape, I used an angle finder. I measured that spacing with calipers, and then I just kind of set it up there and took an angle finder and put it here, and it's like, okay, about that. I think it was 102 degrees is what I ended up angling that part off. So at some point I'll redo these a little bit. I'm probably gonna, I made that bigger than it had to be. And you can see the bolt is basically resting right up above the top of the thing. But it put it darn near in the middle. So anyway, I just thought that was cool. And I looked for my new turn signals for I don't know how long, but here they are. I finally found them. I'd set them somewhere. So, throwing everything on the ground. These are going to go on the back to replace these. See, that one's all ganked up, and it's going to match these. So I'm really curious to see how it does with the windshield, but I'll let you know. You guys have a great day.